Smoke is sexy style!
Welcome. Today, on this very special Valentine's Day, we're gonna ask the age-old question, what if Bejeweled made you horny? Puzzle games have been around for as long as video games have existed. Whether it be playing Minesweeper on an old Windows computer or Tetris on the NES and Game Boy, puzzle games have been incredibly addicting time sinks that have brought joy to millions of people across the world, and it only took until 2015 for people to make them fucky. HuniePop, the kickstarted adult puzzle game where your goal is to get laid with as many women as possible. So imagine Pokemon, but instead of catching whittled creatures, you just have to have sex with females instead. I wonder if Alexei Pajitnov had any idea puzzle games would become this one day. Created by one Ryan Coons, also known on the internet as Honeypot, the game managed to double its initial Kickstarter budget and received pretty positive reception from players and reviewers alike once it released on January 19th, 2015. Despite its praise though, HuniePop was kind of a controversial game when it came out. Twitch immediately banned the game from being streamed on its platform, despite there being both a censored and uncensored version. And in 2018, the game alongside many other adult titles faced potential removal from Steam for being too sexy for all those Pixel Strike 3D players out there. Well, today we're spitting in the face of those killjoy corporations to figure out what it's like to get E-laid. This is HuniePop. But first things first, let's get started. Our story begins with our unnamed character being approached by a random girl at a bar, and like any sensible person, I choose to yell in her face. She introduces herself as Q, and as I go to tell her my own name, I sadly come to the realization that my character has been struck with amnesia. Poor bastard. The two of us continue to chat, and as Q leaves, she mentions that we'll meet again very soon. And very soon has arrived because Q manages to magically sneak into my house, now looking far more magical than she last appeared to be. She explains to us that she's a love fairy who is going to help improve our dating game and get better at talking to women. After a brief tutorial, she sends us out into the world and we get to meet our potential bachelorettes.
What the f***? Of course you screwed it up! Again?
You start every conversation like that?
Quick, now's your chance. Before she goes to change, just say something, anything!
I got a gun.
So in HuniePop, we have 8 potential girls to smooch. Tiffany the college cheerleader, Aiko the teacher, Kiana the gym freak, Audrey the bitch, Lola the waitress, Nikki the gamer, Jessie the milf, and Belly the nice one. Each girl is basically made up of a bunch of stereotypes and one-word personality traits, but I still find most of them to be pretty good and serviceable for the dating sim hybrid that HuniePop is. And yes, I do have my favorites, but I don't want to get too political here, so let's just move on. Each girl can be given gifts, foods, or drinks that can affect the puzzle side of the game, or can reward you with items that can make the actual puzzle gameplay easier. Besides that though, there really isn't much else you can do dating sim-wise. You can talk to the girls to receive honey points that can affect stats, interrogate them for information like what their birthdays or favorite colors are, or customize their appearance to your liking, but overall the dating sim aspect of HuniePop isn't anything to write home about. That however is where the puzzle game side comes in, and where the real depth in HuniePop lies. So every in-game day, you have the option to ask a girl out on a date, and this is of course represented through a puzzle. Like many other puzzle games, you get a large amount of colored orbs with 3 or more of them needing to be combined together in order to reach a score count before you run out of moves. Combining orbs is as easy as grabbing one and moving it into any slot in a horizontal or vertical direction. Each colored orb represents a different trait. Orange for romance, blue for talent, green for flirtation, and red for sexuality. Each girl has a specific color they like or dislike, which helps you to decide which orbs to focus on in-game. There are also a couple of bonus traits. The pink hearts increase the passion level meter, which helps to give you more points as the bar fills. The yellow bells give you more moves, the blue tiers represent sentiment and allow you to use items gained through the dating sim elements, and then there's the broken hearts that serve to muck up your day and lower your score if you chain them together. Don't do that. A lot of people like to compare HuniePop's puzzle gameplay to games like Bejeweled or Candy Crush, and while yeah, it is kinda similar, I find HuniePop to be much more fun than those games. HuniePop is the definition of an easy-to-learn, difficult-to-master game. While everyone who's anyone knows what matching colors together is all about, it takes some decent skill to actually figure out what the most optimal moves to make are in order to complete a successful date. Or you can be like me and just kind of fumble through dates and hope for the best.
Being a little close to home there.
Yeah, when it comes to puzzle games, I kind of flounder in the skill department. If it's not Tetris and to a small extent Puyo Puyo, it pretty much scares me. Mostly because I'm not good at it. But for others in a similar boat, here's a couple of tips I picked up on. Getting passion, sentiment, and additional moves should be your first priority in dates, and from there you should really focus on what color each girl prefers. Using items is also pretty essential, and some of these can be kinda busted. But there are like 250 different items in this game, so I'm not even going to bother telling you which ones are good or bad. So basically all you gotta do is get the yellow, blue, pink, pass her the monkey, and pray for the best. In summary, while I'm not very good at HuniePop, I still find the gameplay to be pretty fun, and I can easily understand why so many others got so addicted to it. Well, outside of the gameplay, there really isn't much to talk about. The music is good, but not something I found all too memorable or worth busting out at a party, but the illustrations looked nice at least. The backgrounds are pleasant and do a good job of showing you what kind of location we're in, and I also really enjoy the character designs. Every character stands out and their designs fit their personality well. I just find the character designs to be really likable, outside of the body parts that are intentionally meant to grab your attention.
Yeah, like the ears.
I also think the voice acting and writing is pretty good too. Every line the characters have is voice acted, and you can really tell that most of these voice actresses are actually putting in effort, compared to a lot of other horny pieces of media where acting is by far the least of the creators' concerns. The lip syncing and emoting on the sprites is kinda basic though, and while most of the writing is pretty funny and doesn't take itself all too seriously, there are a couple of things in this game that are...
Really? Thank you, thank you!
Each successful date you complete fills up a girl's heart meter, and as you complete more dates, you can occasionally receive some photos from the girls, ranging from, oh yeah, that's a pretty nice photo, to, oh Jesus Christ! Who's taking this picture here? Alright, well, looks like I've maxed out Aiko's heart meter, so I wonder what's going to happen next.
How about I come over tonight for a private lesson?
Oh, thank God. You see, I've got this geography homework. I could really use some help on it. And where are your clothes?
Oh god, I just wanted help with my homework. Why is she making those noises? Ah! I hate it when I drool on myself. Well, I guess I finally know what getting E-late is like, so I don't really have much of a reason to play this anymore. Though HuniePop does give you a lot of extra incentives to keep going. There are 4 secret girls that can be unlocked and romanced. Momo the cat girl and Celeste the alien can both be unlocked by messing with some unique items. Q can be dated after having sex with at least one girl. And then there's the uber secret girl, Venus the goddess of love, who only appears after scoring with the base 8 girls in the main game. Outside of that, there's also alpha mode that unlocks after romancing every girl in the game, and pretty much just serves as a super duper hard mode for players that want to test their skills even more. I, however, have achieved what I sought out to do here today, so let's just wrap things up. So how well does HuniePop stack up compared to other puzzlers in the genre? Honestly, pretty damn well. The core gameplay is deep and engaging enough to keep you interested throughout, and a ton of the items here help to promote revisits for experimentation and whatnot. While the dating sim elements are a little basic, I think the core idea of a sexy puzzle game is so out there and ingenious that you honestly kind of have to respect it, especially considering how well executed the idea really was. Overall, while I'm not a huge puzzle game fan, I think HuniePop is a pretty fun time. If your political alignment allows you to tolerate breasts in games, then I suggest giving HuniePop a shot.
So HuniePop was a surprisingly good time, but now that I finally got an E-late, I'm unhinged. I can do anything at any moment, and to prove it, I'm gonna buy a horny anime figure just for the hell of it. What have I done?